Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tesla Life number 81 for January 16th, 2019. We had a little problem with the music, I believe, but that's all right. We'll move along.
I like to fade it very slowly. I'm sorry. There you go.
And with us, everyone knows, is Mr. Russell Frost, back
Who?
from assignment.
I've never. Oh yes, I was on assignment in a foreign land, Texas, home of Bucky.
Oh my God, that's the Texas flag. I take it.
That is the Texas state animal. Is Bucky? Yeah. And if you don't know about Buc-ee's, I'm sorry. That's all I can say.
Look it up on the internet. Buc-ee's.
Look it up on the internet. When you're in Texas, stop by a Buc-ee's because
and just a hint, it's hyphenated.
It is, yes. It's BUC-EE''S.
The only way to spell Buc-ee's.
That is a lot of punctuation for Texas.
Yeah.
Oh, now I've gone in the
Where are we going with that? Yeah.
Oh, why
You're just trying to
that?
get us in trouble, aren't you? Just right out of the gate.
I'm sorry.
So how are you this evening, Mr. Frost?
I'm fine. How are you,
Excellent.
sir?
Excellent.
I missed not being here for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we haven't sseen you in a little while.
Yeah, well, I've been out driving across this fine United States of ours, and I'm glad to be home. I'm glad to be back in California, where it just a couple of hours ago stopped raining. Since I've been back, literally like rain every day.
Well, okay.
Yeah. And I'm hoping it stays that way.
No snow in the forecast, huh?
Well, it snowed up in the mountains. It snowed about 4,000 feet, not 30 miles from here, but
nothing near San Diego, though, right?
No snow in San Diego, oddly enough. Yeah, I'm so angry.
That's too bad. That's too bad. But I guess some of us get more snow than others. That's just the way it goes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes.
You guys, are you buried right now?
We are not. We've had a very mild winter to this point, but we hear that there's a winter storm working its way across the Great Lakes. Actually, our friend Tony, who couldn't make it tonight, he may be faced with that in the next day. Storm rolling through from west-east. So we'll see when it gets to the end of the week here.
It's good for him. He needs to shovel more. And this is sort of a nostalgic time of year because one of my very favorite vacations, one of my very favorite places on Earth, is Quebec. And the Carnival de Quebec starts. The Carnival, yes. So I've had like Bottom Carnival on my Facebook feed. I'm getting in it, because I missed that. I had such a wonderful time in my week up there going to Carnival. And yeah, we don't get that in San Diego.
No, that doesn't happen. Not at all.
Now I am wearing shorts
today.
today.
Just not put there. Yeah.
Yeah. No. It's not like minus 20. So I'm kind of cool with that.
Well, we got a ton of news, so let's get to it. I'm sure everyone is just chomping at the bit at this point.
I don't think anything happened this week. Didn't Elon take the week off?
Have you not been watching our Twitter feed?
I have not. And if I was following the Twitter feed, I would know everything about that because it's like the amazing Twitter feed.
Well, it's a great note to our viewers. If you're not already following us on Twitter, please do at the Tesla Life. See these news stories as they break. We're trying to keep on top of things and share it with our audience right away. So join us there if you can.
Absolutely. Mark does a very good job. So yeah, if you want to see this stuff as it happens, Twitter is a great way to do that.
Exactly. Well, our first story of the night is about the advanced summon feature that Elon talked a little bit on Twitter, which, of course, is his favorite social media forum. And he announced just recently that the advanced features of summon are coming. And Russell, do you remember what the main attraction of the advanced summon feature is?
Well, the thing that comes out in my mind it would be the standing in San Francisco, your car's in New York, and you hit summon. And
that would be a heck of a summon feature, yes.
And your car comes to you. Of course, you stand there for 2 days waiting for your car.
Yes, yeah.
To arrive.
Well, that's not what he was announcing about, but that is certainly a big one. That's probably going to be combined with that that drive across America. That still hasn't happened. We're still waiting for that to happen. But what the next feature for Summon is to allow, which is basically a party trick. It allows the car to follow you. If you have the app and you press the button on the app, you can then walk around and the car will follow you like a little puppy dog. So it just keeps following you. If you stop, it'll stop. If you keep going, it'll keep going. You could basically walk around wherever you want and the car would follow you, and it would look for objects. It won't run into anything. It will stop if it runs into an issue where it's being blockaded, or the person that's pressing the app, goes between buildings or something. It's not going to crash the car. It's going to still look for those things. But Elon talked about on Twitter about what it's planning on being released to the early adopters in a couple of weeks. That, of course, is Elon time, so that's probably 4 weeks. But he has indicated that there's been some regulatory concern with certain jurisdictions. So this ability for the car to follow you is being looked at by different groups as to whether or not it's safe, as to whether or not they're allowing it. He hasn't indicated what certain jurisdictions are having issues with it. But I got to believe that Canada is one of them, that they're going to have a problem with it, because they've had problem with even the app version, which was delayed to get to us. So certainly they may have an issue with the car following you around like a lost puppy dog. But that is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so that's something that those mostly I would imagine in California. I think they've got the regulatory thing sewed up there, so that'll probably be where it's released first. But it'll be interesting to see. Again, this is kind of a party trick. I don't know anyone that. How much sense does it make that you're going to pull out your app and press a button, have the car follow you? Like, very little, very little. So,
yeah. I mean, I love the idea of calling it My Pet Tesla, but yeah, like, I mean, honestly, like, oh, look, my car follows me, and that's like. I don't know that that's going to get you the applause from your friends. That
right. Well, I've noticed I've seen people use the party trick where they're like using the summon feature to push it forward or pull it back while they're not in the car. They're just sitting in front of it or behind it, and they're just using it and it's like, okay, yeah, that's pretty amazing to see a car move when no one's in it, when you're never used to that. But I am sure that gets old pretty quick.
Yeah, I would think so. But
in fact, there was a video just recently of someone posting where they waited for a door knocker to come up to the door to sell something, and they pressed the garage button, and the car sprung to life and drove into the garage on its own, and then the garage shut. So the person that's selling stuff is kind of standing there with their jaw open, wondering how this car is pulling itself into the garage.
They go and knock on the garage door. Mr. Tesla, can we talk to you about
Mr. Invisibility? How's that happening? Yeah, so it is what it is, but we will see if it gets released and if it matches Elon time or not. But that was just recently announced. Our next story, Russell has about the 75 kilowatt battery.
Huh? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, speaking of invisible. Tesla has waved its magic wand and made the 75 kilowatt battery pack disappear. No longer will you have an option of getting the 75 kilowatt battery pack starting next week. Excuse me, starting this week. I had to look at the date on the news article to make sure. No, Tesla did not, as they are wont to do, give us a lot of information about the whys and the wherefores. I think most of the speculation has been that this is potentially the coming of the 2170 to the Models S and X, and they'll be reconfiguring the battery packs. Mark and I were chatting about this before the show, and I think it's also Tesla very appropriately scaling their packs up, as they have throughout their entire existence. So that the minimum will be the 100 kilowatt hour pack that you can get, which makes sense for that.
Yeah. So again, we're not really sure why, but ordering actually stopped, I believe, as of yesterday. So that's it. If you didn't get in, you're done. They're just now, they were removed from the website earlier, but you could still order it, I believe, up until yesterday, you know, if you were to call in. But I think that ship has sailed.
That is gone.
Yeah.
And I, you know, I don't know that anybody's that sad about it. You know what I mean? Like,
well, it becomes an economic thing, right? If you're scraping and saving to get in at the very bottom, you know, and then they move the bottom up, then, you know, you're going to be out a few thousand, that's for sure. But it's a question of whether, like you said, it's an evolution. They've always been moving up. In fact, I believe that when the Model S came out initially, there was a 40 kilowatt pack option that was taken off the table rather quickly because no one selected it. But they went to 40 to 60 to 75 to 85. There was a 90. There's now 100.
100. Yeah, they've had some intermediate. There was a 70 for a while, then they went to 75.
Right. Yeah. So it's just a progression, it seems.
Absolutely, and an appropriate one.
Absolutely.
Well, speaking of appropriate, I think Mark has some news.
What a segue that is.
What's appropriate up north?
What is appropriate in Whitehorse, Yukon, you may ask? Well, a recent interviewee on the CBC, which that's the moose sign. Yes. Interviewed about taking his car up to Whitehorse, and he was one of the first to register his car in the Yukon, and he felt that it was a great car for him. He ended up buying it in the lower British Columbia, the Vancouver area, and then driving it all the way north. So it was interesting that about his take of a car that really is not many of them are that far north. He's going to be the guinea pig, really. We're talking about temperatures that range in Celsius somewhere between minus 25 to minus 40 degrees Celsius on a ongoing basis. So Mike Simon here has taken on that task, and as so far at this point in the winter, very pleased with what he has. And there was a CBC interview when he first arrived in the fall with his new car. And just recently, they posted another update now that the temperatures have dropped to that aforementioned 39 degrees Celsius, I believe was the day when he brought it to Whitehorse and did an interview with the CBC.
Wow.
But
did he have any comment about battery?
He had the same type of figures that we would have here in Southern Ontario or any northeast city, where he's losing somewhere between a third and half of his battery. So, you know, he's saying that he has 2/3 to work with basically on most days. And if he leaves the internal heater on for a longer period of time, obviously he burns some more of that. But he said he hasn't gone below half, and most days he does lose a third. So, but then with the car, he got the long range vehicle, Model 3. So, you know, we're talking 310 miles. So he's down to about, you know, 208 or 210, somewhere in that area. So
good. Yeah.
It's a lot of range to work with, depending on what you're doing with a car. But certainly it's something that I guess it depends on what your use case is for the car.
Right. I mean, that is some, I love that, because that's cool extreme testing. You know what I mean? Like, not artificial. It's, hey, this somebody bought it, and you know.
Yeah, and this guy's living with it. So I'll be watching to see if he comes up with some more. If you go to our Twitter feed, there are links there where you can listen to the interview, and then there's also a video connection there too that you can watch. So good luck to Mike, and glad he's sharing with us what his experiences are. He also is posting some of his live blog on Facebook. And speaking of Facebook, you can follow us there as well. You can follow us, the Tesla Life #1, and you can see us on Facebook. So that was a good segue while we were just sitting there.
Nicely done, sir.
Ah, thank you. Thank you.
Now how are you going to get to the next story?
I got no segue, so I'm just going to move right into international deliveries. Recently, an article came out about the number of VIN numbers, and we talked about VINs lots of times in the past as the Model 3 started to ramp. But recently, over 20,000 VINs were submitted. But the interesting fact about this was that about 3/4 of that were connected with international deliveries, European deliveries. So the VINs were registered in Europe as opposed to North America, where everything had been done previously. And that kind of works into some other stories that we have about where those cars were going, how they were getting there. We had a report that a number of car carriers from Fremont were traveling towards the San Francisco Bay Area, and were dropping and then coming back and refilling and dropping again. So, and there were a few pictures that we had on our Twitter feed of the cars that were ending up at the port of San Francisco. And there were basically hundreds, if not 1,000 in the picture. And then we got news about a carrier that was coming to town, San Francisco, that is. A carrier called Grovis.
Like Typhoid Mary, or?
No, it wasn't Typhoid Mary.
Not that kind of carrier.
No, this was a car carrier, a boat that carries cars. That's what they do. And these boats apparently carry somewhere in the area of 3,000 to 5,000 cars per trip. And this particular carrier called Grovis, Grovis, is a line of car carriers. They're a company that has a number of different car carriers, but the one that they got on was called the Grovis Captain. And why I mention that is that you can actually get on the internet and you can search maritime tracking sites.
No. Put
in the name of the ship, and it'll actually show you where that ship is in live data, or almost live data. So this Grovis carrier, and I think I've got a photo of what we had seen there. Let me just see if I can grab that. But it came into San Francisco Bay, and it loaded. Oh, here's a shot of part of the Grovis, and of course the waiting cars that we're about to get on it here. I can just share that quickly. So we've got, what's that?
Oh, Grovis what?
Grovis Captain.
Captain. Thank you.
Yeah, as in first mate, captain.
Oh, gotcha.
So we've got a bunch of cars here, and you can see the corner of the Grovis car carrier ship right here, and the ramp. Or those could be ropes, I guess. But certainly these vehicles look like they were lined up to get on. And from all reports, they were loaded onto that car carrier. And later that week, in fact, the Sunday morning, we got reports that the car carrier was underway. And it was heading out to sea.
Wow.
I think we got a shot of that as well.
No, what is somebody droning the thing?
We've got a shot. This is Tesla, Russell. It's Tesla.
I know. What am I thinking, right?
Here's a shot of San Francisco Bay.
Oh,
there's the Bay Bridge in the background, and there is the car carrier making its way out of the bay, heading out to the Pacific Ocean.
Oh.
So, and of course, it's highly accurate. If you use that Marine Transport Link site that's free to use, look up the ship name. Sure enough, it's showing it's on its way to the Panama Canal.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. So last week we had a discussion with Paul and Tony, and we were debating, was this going maybe to Asia, or was it going to Europe? And the speculation was that maybe it was Asia, since it was going out by boat, because a lot of car companies apparently ship by rail or truck to, say, Houston, and then they catch a boat there and head over to Europe. But in this case, the boat is heading to Belgium, and it is expected to be in Belgium at the beginning of February, according to the ship's log, which again is available for anyone to look.
So like 2 weeks. That's not bad.
Yeah, about 3 weeks.
Yeah. Boy, there is a line of ships trying to get into Panama.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by this maritime tracker.
That might be a bottleneck, huh?
Yeah. I gotta move those locks a little quicker, boys.
Exactly.
Wow.
So that's interesting. And if you're after that, go ahead and check up on the website. You can see wherever that ship is, and as it makes its way to Belgium as the final port stop. Which we reported a number of shows ago about how that Belgium was going to start to expect to receive 3,000 cars a week, is what they're saying they're going to be receiving at some point. So
wow.
That's that'll be interesting. But with that type of a shipment schedule, man, that's, you know, a ship leaving, if they do hold 3,000 or more cars, that would be a ship a week leaving Fremont, which is, man, that's quite a bit of ships and cars leaving.
Quite a few vehicles. Yeah.
Our next little story is about a sign that was spotted.
A sign?
Yeah, in at a supercharger in Massachusetts, Headley, Massachusetts.
That's a nice Tesla supercharger sign.
And this has been, I guess, some complaints have come to Tesla about how they have a supercharger that may be hidden behind a store or an area where people can't see it readily from, say, the road.
Right.
And the thought has been they need some sort of large sign. And most people had said a pedestal sign, you know, something that sticks up higher in the air than what this does. But and I'm sure there's bylaws and things that have to be abided by if you get a pylon sign, and there are probably some issues with placing one in the air. But I've never seen one of these yet. This is the first one I've seen where there has been a large sign posted at a supercharger that wasn't attached to, say, a store or a gallery. But this is, I don't know if this is a thing that's happening or starting to happen. But this Twitter user had submitted it to us, let us know that they had seen it. And I thought I would throw it out to the audience if they've seen this type of thing elsewhere. But I think it's a good idea if it improves visibility. I know on my trip to Orlando that one of these signs would have helped at one or two of the superchargers that I stopped at, because they were kind of hidden. Even though the map does give you a route to get to it, I know that I passed one completely. What comes to mind is Lima, Ohio. That was very difficult to find in my eyes. Of course, I'd never been there. So I'm following the route on the map. I'm trying to follow the road in front of me. It makes a turn when I'm not expecting it, and I miss the supercharger just because of that. But anything to mark them, I think, would be advantageous for Tesla. But I just thought it was interesting that they were starting to come out with some of this.
You know, now I feel bad.
How so?
I feel bad because it wasn't that long ago. I mean, a few years ago, on What Drives Us, we made a lot of fun of Elon because this was the supercharger sign that originally, when he was rolling out superchargers,
right,
to put, and everyone went, "Oh my God, that looks just like a big sign." And now I think
that looks like a big sign. Is that what you said?
Sign, yeah. That's a really big sign. That's a big, hard, straight sign. But obviously, now you look at that and you think, well, you know, if there was like a 20-foot tall sign, right? An obelisk, as it were. Well, we'll call it an obelisk because why not? Maybe Elon was onto something.
Yeah, I think that you know, in a flat parking lot, especially a large parking lot that may be blocked by other cars, your viewpoint of looking for those little Tesla light up signs that are, you know, only 4 feet tall or 3.5 feet tall, you may not. From experience, I had a hard time picking them out of a large mall parking lot. So again, a large sign would be helpful, I would think.
and listeners, I want to encourage you not to Google this image. Okay? I just take it from me. Don't do it. Don't do it. Or at least, turn the safe switch on, I guess, if such as
turn the safety switch on. Exactly. Exactly.
Your desire. Well, we were talking about bins before.
Yep.
And I've got a whole different kind of bin to talk about.
Ah, excellent segue.
I'm just going to show. Thank you. I've been waiting to do that a whole show. If you can put me up on the screen, Mark.
Done.
There's nothing like a white interior to people go, oh, I bet that shows dirt. And one brave, proud Tesla owner did this. I'm just going to show you a little bit here.
Hi, guys.
There's there's that Tesla white interior.
Yeah.
And
Model 3.
Wait. No! That's a bottle of Chuck Shaw Red. And no, he's not. Oh, no. Oh, God. He did. Yes. And then, a little later on, he apparently has a helper. Don't be afraid. This is apparently a family member, maybe a son, maybe a cousin, who knows what. But comes in with some paper towels, and in only seconds, boom.
Wipes up that mess.
It's gone. Nothing soaked in, no apparent mess. Now, just like the Tesla obelisk search, don't do this at home. Don't, even though you can see it here, don't do it at home. It's silly, but it is a great demonstration of I guess the red wine repelling capability of the white Tesla interior.
Exactly.
So there you go. The Tesla interior will repel Charles Shaw Red. Will it work for other brands? I don't know.
It's wine specific. Yes, I'm sure. It
might be Shaw specific. Who knows?
Oh man, I would not be trying that with my car, and I have black seats. I would still not do it.
Yeah, my teeth are still grinding. You know what I mean?
I could just imagine after doing that, and of course they said it looks fine, but I could just imagine it seeping into the stitching or whatever, and just no, not interested in trying that out.
Yeah.
But I understand from others who have the white seats that they are very stain resistant. If you do get a stain on it, I understand that one of the great tips to have is a package of unscented baby wipes in the car. And that's a quick and easy way to wipe off, blue jean dye or anything that gets on it to stain the seat. It's a good tip that you can use. Just keep a pack of unscented baby wipes in the back, and you have that ability whenever a stain presents itself.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, in other Tesla innovations this week, and on one hand, I don't know that I can take this seriously. On the other hand, I love this idea. And of course, being me, I would probably take it 10 steps too far. But we've seen some discussion, especially in the South, in the United States, of trucks intentionally icing Tesla superchargers. There was just another one posted yesterday, I think, in South Carolina, was it?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, fair enough, right? A thing that had parked in between two superchargers and taken the charging cords and stuck them in the back of the bed of the truck, just to an extra. So they've come up with something they're testing in Asia, or at least someone has, and they're testing this, and it's very clever. It's a little block that pops up when there isn't a car in there. And to access it, I guess it's going to recognize the car, or there's a QR code in the app. That's right.
Yeah, and there's a QR code on the wall you see behind the photo of the.
You scan it, it recognizes you as a Tesla owner, and the little blue blocking thing folds down, and you back your car up and charge up. Now, is this perfect? No. Is it a cool idea? Yeah. I mean, why not? I mean, anything that preserves the integrity of those spots for Tesla owners is great. I don't have a problem with that. Tesla's paid for these spots or leases these things. They're for Tesla owners. They're not for, I won't use a bad word on this show, but they're not for the inconsiderate subhumans that would park their trucks there just for no apparent reason, just to block people off.
Just for fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool. And then it is.
Now, we did have this. Obviously, we placed this on our Twitter feed earlier in the week, and a couple of comments came in immediately saying, "Well, they do realize that those trucks probably clear those blockades by 6 inches right now." And it's we know that there's
some of them. Yeah.
Nothing is perfect, and of course, this appears to be in an underground garage. So you haven't got any weather conditions to worry about, snow or ice maybe blocking it, or having to plow the lot and that piece of metal being in the way of the plow. So yeah, there's a number of things that they're going to have to think about. But at least this is a solution for indoors that they've started with. It may evolve over time, but it's a good solution for indoors, it seems.
Yeah, and if I had designed it. What would it do? Well, of course, it would be a couple of feet taller. And as if you hadn't scanned in the code, when you backed over it and folded it down, it would explode. Taking almost certainly the rear-mounted gas tank in the ICE vehicle with it.
And that is part of the reason that Russell does not work for Tesla and design new products for their parking.
That's actually all of the reason. Yeah, I mentioned that in the interview, and they just said, "Thank you very much."
Thank you. Take your paper. Have a good day.
We appreciate your help, sir. Please leave quietly.
We're not interested at this time. Thanks so much.
Not at all.
Oh man. Yep, the interviewing process at Tesla is grueling.
You're telling me that?
Next, we have a story about hacking your way into a free Model 3. Now, we had talked about this some time ago on this show about ethical hacking, a way that Tesla uses to get people to try to find flaws in their security system, in their operating system, on their computer or their software, in their cars, and in their devices. And typically, if someone found a way to get in or a way to modify things, they were able to submit that to Tesla, and they would receive a cash reward of different amounts, depending on the severity of the bug or issue that they exposed through their, as they call, ethical hacking. Mm-hmm. Well, Tesla's really stepped up what they want done. They want more and more people to go after these bugs and issues. I don't know if that's because of lack of trying or because they found more or less issues than they were expecting. We don't know, but they have increased the rewards all the way now to a free Model 3, depending on the type of problem that you find with their system. So that if you are so computer inclined and interested in going into the operating system and such of Tesla software, there's a big possible reward for you if you can find an issue with it. Also, keep in mind that Tesla, you do register with them, and if you happen to brick your own car while trying to do some ethical hacking, Tesla indicates that they can help you unbrick the car at no charge. So they're trying to take things out of the way of people to, prevent them from trying these things. And if you're so inclined, then there's a big prize waiting at the end if you can actually manage to come up with some serious issues, I guess.
Believe it or not, I think this is brilliant and long overdue. I think they should be giving away a car at least once a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether they go to DEF CON or whatever convention or go to security facilities and say, do it, have at it. You know, either way, Tesla wins. They find a spot in their code that's not secure, or they drive away with the car and go, nobody could crack it this time.
That's right. That's right.
Tesla wins either way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's a good cue to question our group of people on the live chat. If you don't already know, we do have a live chat going through every show. You can join in, send us suggestions, give us comments here and there. And if you have a show title, put it in. And we may use your show title for the show today. That also leads us to another subject. If you're watching this for the first time and you have not subscribed to the show, please press the subscribe button on the YouTube show so you'll get alerts when the show starts. It gives us an extra number, and we would really appreciate that. So please press that subscribe button. It helps us out immensely. And hey, the show's free, so why not help us out? We would really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get ahead, and I'm looking at I can't figure out this next story at all. I'm lost. I'm totally lost. I admit
the drop lock, is that what you're looking at?
Yes, sir.
The drop lock. Okay. So recently, over the past little while, the San Francisco Bay Area apparently has had a number of people that are now breaking into Teslas by smashing the rear quarter window on the passenger or the driver's side, so that they can flip the lock that pushes the seat down, and they can look into the trunk. So what we've got here is a solution that's coming up, or has been presented by a group, and it's this little red plastic brick that can be placed in the seat drop-down lever area that prevents the seat from being unlocked and pushed down. Cool. And they, of course, make it in this bright. It looks kind of orange in this picture, but it's red, so that it can be seen through the window, so people can understand that it's got one of these devices blocking the seat from being accessed. In fact, some people, I understand, without this device have been at this point in the San Francisco area, where if they're parking out in public, is they're folding their seats down so that criminals can look in the back and say, oh, there's nothing here. There's no point in smashing the window because there's nothing in the trunk.
And that's the nice thing about that bright color is screw it. You know what I mean? Like, hopefully they're not going to smash your window.
Hopefully they can see it through the window and they will not smash it. But this is becoming a bit of an epidemic in certain areas, and they've identified San Francisco Bay Area as being one of those areas where this is very common. Obviously, there's a lot of Tesla Model 3s in that area as well, but it is something that is coming. I guess it's coming to light that more and more of these issues are happening, because apparently it's fairly easy for somebody that's with some criminal intent is just to smash the window and not get caught. They just push their elbow through it, or they have a metal bar or a wrench or something, smash the little quarter, which of course doesn't take much to do. Flip the seat, drop down, shine a light in, see if there's anything in the trunk. And if there is anything of interest, they smash the other window so they can open the car door completely and get at the item in the trunk.
Wow.
But this is unfortunately what's been going on. But this group, you can search them at Drop Lock, drop-lock. They've produced this little plastic doodad for, I believe it's about $30 for two of them. And you can hopefully, I don't know if it'll work, but it is a step in the right direction to see if they can alert people that the seat is in a lock position and cannot be unlocked. Well, not sure if it's going to really help, but for that type of money, it might be worth it just for the fact that you're not going to possibly get your window smashed in as many times as it would without it. I'm not sure.
And if you live in a large urban area, and I learned this my first time in San Francisco, oddly enough, left a very expensive pair of sunglasses on the dashboard. And yeah, the first time I was there, smashed the car, ransacked everything. Whereas if I had done that, there wouldn't have been the motivation to do that,
Right.
That's like, leaving a $20 bill on the console, like, go ahead, come on, I'm right here.
Yeah.
So where I was going with that is obviously, the other thing is try not to keep a lot of valuable stuff in your car, huh? We all live in our cars these days, but.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing, but it is to reality, and you have to react and maybe do things a little bit differently in your life to avoid some of this this anguish that could come your way if you don't.
Or just stay out of the city, or stay out of any place with anyone dishonest to smash and grab. All of a sudden, you have to leave the car parked in your driveway at home.
That's right. Everyone has to come to Canada to visit. Not that we don't have break-ins here, but I just thought I'd add that in.
Absolutely. Of course not in Canada. People are too nice. So what's one defense of getting your car broken in? Or of stopping from having your car broken in? Have it always moving really, really, really fast.
Yeah, and that's easy to do in a Tesla. So just keep moving. That's right.
It is indeed. And if you actually believe in maximum plaid, and if you believe in the Tesla Roadster, Elon Musk guy, we keep talking about him, has noted this week that the Roadster will do a 1/4 mile in under 8 seconds.
Man, that is quick.
To the help of a cold gas thruster system.
Yep, the SpaceX package is coming. Do you believe? Russell, you have some hesitation there. I sense some hesitation about the SpaceX package in a car that's on the street. No, nothing.
You know what? Anybody who's
are you seriously going to doubt the man that has said that he was going to bring a medieval tower to Southern California?
No. Okay, he's not going to put cold gas thrusters in the Roadster. It's not going to fly, and he's just not. No, he's not going to be firing thrusters in a consumer vehicle that is allowed to drive anywhere you want. And if you can't automatically see the problem with that, you maybe need to take a step back, have a cup of something strong with caffeine in it, maybe have a biscuit or something, just relax, get the blood sugar in. No, it's not going to happen. No. Thrusters in the car. It's not going to fly.
I am going to say there will be thrusters installed in a car because he's already talked about plans of removing the back seat if you're going to take the thruster package, and that will come to fruition. Now, the car is not going to fly. Even with the Twitter storm that happened when he posted a picture of the Back to the Future DeLorean, or he commented on a picture of the Back to the Future DeLorean, it's not going to fly, even though he says it's going to actually do something like this. So,
no.
But I think that he's going to use thrusters either to help push the car faster or do braking or make it maybe grip the road a little harder. Something is going to be done with thrusters.
Do you have any idea how loud those thrusters are?
I don't, because I have none in my car currently.
If you fired off a cold gas thruster on a city street, you would definitely...
Do you think it might blow out some windows?
You would knock people down, okay? I mean, on top of the fact that, let's just say you accidentally hit the maximum plaid button, and all of a sudden your thrusters fire in the front of the car behind you? No. No, isn't it enough? Isn't it enough that it does what it's already claimed to do? Does it have to fly?
It is enough that it does the quarter mile in under 8 seconds. It goes 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds. That is certainly enough in my book. But in the hype machine that is Tesla, there's always one better. There's always one better.
It's not going to happen.
Well,
this is like 420, okay? It's you guys took me seriously? Come on. Come on.
Well, I would say that initially, except so many things that we thought were crazy have come to light.
Give me 3 examples that are like putting a thruster in a car.
Well, how about I'm fed up with this traffic. I'm going to start a boring company.
But it hasn't done anything yet.
It has. It's dug a couple tunnels. It's had a demonstration. That is far and above beyond what I thought was going to happen at all.
Okay, so
and you would have to agree with that. When the statement first came out that he was going to avoid LA traffic by digging down, we all laughed. I know we did. We could go back and look at shows because
I definitely laughed, and I'm still laughing because it's still.
And he has actually raised millions, tens of millions of dollars, and actually dug a tunnel. Got the approval of Los Angeles to put a tunnel down for 2 miles or 1.25 miles, or whatever it is. But again, it is the guy. This isn't the first time he's mentioned these thrusters. No, this is the second or third time. Yeah. So you know what? There is going to be some sort of thruster on this car. I cannot see it not happening based on he's repeated it a few times now.
I have no further comments.
All right. We will see. We will see, I guess, is all we can say.
Yeah. Time will tell.
Time will tell.
Well, almost finally on the list of news, although I have a feeling Mark might have something else. There's a story about Tesla Powerwall, the Tesla battery pack for your home that stores up energy from your solar array so that you can use it overnight, or you can use it in case of a power outage. It's just there for you. It's configurable through the Tesla app, just like the car, and you can use that power whenever you want and need it. Tesla's apparently getting a 50% subsidy in Australia for as many as 40,000 homes. That's huge because that means 40,000 power walls getting stuck on a boat and traveling from the Gigafactory to Australia, which is great news for Gigafactory employees.
Yeah, absolutely.
And good news for Australians who don't want to be at the beck and call of their local power utility. The nice thing about the Powerwall is it gives you a little bit of independence.
Yeah, yeah. And as we've talked about previous times, that becomes almost like a virtual power plant. If you get 40,000 of those units set up in homes in a geographical area, then the power company has options they don't have now, where it can be like a peaker plant. And it can offset different bumps and spikes in the electrical grid, smooth them out so that peaker plants are not required at all or required a lot less.
Well, it's some point in the future, every home is going to have one of these. Maybe not the Tesla one, but every home is going to have some way of storing up power because it makes sense. A decentralized electrical grid is good for everybody involved. It's good for the homeowner. It's good for the utility. It's good for the municipality because it's a more robust grid. So this is a great, I'm glad to see Australia doing it. I hope Tesla starts putting those suckers on boats and getting them over there.
Yeah, yeah. So again, and that was another story that we don't have in our list today, but Tesla hit half a billion cells produced at the Gigafactory just recently. So over that, I think it was close to 600 million of those 2170s that have now been produced since the Gigafactory opened its doors. So they are moving along. Obviously, the throngs of Model 3s and now power packs going, or power walls and power packs certainly is boosting that number day after day. There we are. Russell grabbed one in Texas. They didn't think they could get it, but he did.
The 18650, but it's the same thing. You get the idea. And the 2170 is a little, it's just a little. It's these little tiny things do a lot.
Exactly. Now, Russell, I've never had an 18650, but is it compared to a AA battery? Is it much larger
than a AA?
Yeah.
I can show you.
Oh, you've got a AA at your disposal. Oh, he pulled it out of the camera, folks.
Mark's doing a soft shoe.
Yeah, I'm just dancing here to keep everyone amazed and glued to their
American AA battery.
Yeah, okay.
Here is the 18650.
There we go. That's quite a bit larger.
Yeah, quite a bit larger. It's significantly thicker, probably twice as thick.
Yeah.
And obviously this is nickel metal hydride, so it stores energy bigger than an alkaline battery, and obviously it deploys the power at a better rate. This obviously stores significantly more energy. I mean, you can screw some stuff up with this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
the 2170 is bigger than the 18650.
Correct. Yeah, it's wider. Absolutely. Yeah.
And a little taller. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and again, according to Tesla and from the research, the third-party research that we've seen, Tesla's battery is more energy dense, even for its size, than the average 18650. So that's,
another plus in their column.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only is it bigger, but it stores energy more compactly.
Yeah.
I want to be careful putting this back in the device, because if I put it in wrong, it'll explode. And the show will be over. At least for me.
The show will be over in San Diego. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. You'll go on.
I'll have no problem up here, but
yeah,
we don't want to think about that. No.
Russell, listen. Anyway, so yeah, that's there we go. I've been trying to get a Tesla 2170, and I can't find one anywhere.
Yeah, well, I think you have to hijack that boat that's heading to Belgium.
I mean, they go into packs, and there's they're packed in goo and all this. You got to find before they actually put them in the packs.
Yeah, we have to get that Gigafactory tour set up so we can. I'm sure they're giving away 2170s at the end of the tour.
They did give them away at some point. They gave away some fake ones, but
even the empty casing ones we take. So absolutely. Well, that's about all the news we have for this week's show.
Wow, really?
That's about it. We ran the gambit this week. A lot happening. If you might ask if there is one last thing, and there happens to be one last thing, of course, because it is, of course, the Tesla Life show. And without one last thing, what would we be but just an ordinary show? So here we go. We've got this group called FLACK, F-A-L-C-K, and they are a first responders group that has developed. They're out of Denmark, and they've developed a ambulance to sit on the Model X frame. So it is a Model X, but they've done up the interior as a first responders vehicle. And we've seen this before, but it's kind of cool whenever someone comes up with one of these prototypes and you can see on the side of this car, it does state supervisor. So I'm not sure. I don't believe this is like a regular ambulance. This is like the head officer's ambulance that allows them to rush to a particular scene or take over or add additional support. It's not a regular ambulance that would show up when someone calls 911. But this is certainly an expensive ambulance, although I'm sure ambulances that are decked out aren't all that cheap anyways with what's put inside of them. But this unit looks kind of cool that they've made it a supervisor vehicle for the Denmark group here called FLACK.
I was hoping there was like a gurney in the back that I could
No gurney. Yeah. So I think the gurney would have a tough time because they're collapsible and they're fairly long because they've got equipment attached to them.
Yeah.
So it probably wouldn't fit.
Probably not. Yeah, you're right. It probably just carries extra EMTs or equipment or who knows.
Yeah. So if you're in Denmark, watch out for the Model X ambulance. It may be coming to you. Hopefully not, but you may see it driving around. And that's about it. Russell, have you got any shout-outs this week?
I
didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No. I love that. I don't get put on that spot very often. I don't have any shout-outs this week. Thank you. Cheers to everybody in the chat room. I'm sorry I didn't hang out in there today, but next time I will, or somebody will, I promise.
Yes, thanks. We had a number of different people throwing us. Hockey Day was there, of course, and we had JT and Derek. Who else was in there this week? We've got our friend from across the seas, Andres.
Oh,
and
nice. Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so a number of people, and I've missed some names, but again, with just two running the show, we were kind of going back and forth. So we're just monitoring the chat room at bare bones at this point.
We're going to get batteries. That's how
batteries are being mailed out today. Yes. So we'd like to thank everyone there. Again, if you haven't subscribed already, press the subscribe button. Give us a number. Get notified when shows go to air. We would like to direct you to our Facebook page at the Tesla Life #1, and of course our Twitter feed at the Tesla Life. Also, we'd like to thank Lee Moon for providing music to us, and we will be playing a selection of Lee's very shortly. So thanks, Lee. We really appreciate it. And to everyone else, have yourselves a good week, and we will see you next week and find out what's going on in the Tesla Life. Not sure if we're hearing the music. We'll talk to you later. See you, folks.